What if the biggest reason you haven't improved your English is not lack of talent, not lack of intelligence, but simply lack of a clear system? Most people believe learning English requires a classroom, an expensive course, or a teacher guiding them every day. They imagine that fluency is something that can only happen outside their home. But that belief is not true. Some of the most successful English learners in the world built their skills in a very simple place, their own room. What they had was not special talent. What they had was a system. Today we are going to talk about something extremely practical: how to learn English at home using simple daily methods that actually work. Not complicated grammar rules. Not confusing theory. Just real actions you can take every day. If you apply these steps consistently, your English will improve slowly, steadily, and confidently. The first principle is building a simple daily routine. This is where most learners fail. They study randomly. One day they study for 2 hours. The next day they study nothing. Then maybe they skip an entire week. After that they suddenly try to study again with high motivation. That is not learning. That is confusion. English improves through repetition. And repetition only works when there is structure. Instead of studying randomly, build a very simple daily routine. Not something stressful or complicated. Just something realistic that you can follow every single day. For example, you can divide your study time into 3 simple parts: 20 minutes of listening, 20 minutes of reading, and 20 minutes of speaking. Just 1 hour. That's it. But the key is not the time. The key is consistency. Study at the same time every day and, if possible, in the same place. Your brain loves patterns. When you repeat an activity at the same time daily, your brain slowly stops resisting it. It begins to prepare for it automatically. Think about how your body works. If you eat lunch at the same time every day, you start feeling hungry at that time even if you didn't plan it. Your body has learned the pattern. Your brain works in a very similar way. When learning becomes a daily habit instead of a random decision, mental resistance disappears. And when resistance disappears, improvement becomes much easier. Fluency is not built in one powerful study session. It is built in hundreds of small sessions. Imagine 2 people. Person A studies 5 hours once a week. Person B studies 1 hour every day. After 30 days, person B usually improves faster. Why? Because the brain remembers repeated exposure better than long, irregular exposure. Your brain builds English pathways slowly. Every time you listen, read, or speak, those pathways become stronger. Daily repetition strengthens them. That is how fluency grows. Not suddenly, gradually. So instead of saying, "I will study 4 hours every day," make a promise you can actually keep. Say, "I will study 1 hour every day for 90 days. A small promise repeated daily can create powerful results. The second important method is tracking your progress weekly. Many English learners quit because they believe they are not improving. But the truth is that improvement in language learning often happens silently. Your brain is absorbing patterns. Your ears are recognizing sounds. Your mouth is slowly becoming more comfortable with pronunciation. But because these changes are gradual, they are hard to notice day by day. That is why tracking progress is so important. Tracking turns invisible growth into visible proof. Once a week, record yourself speaking for 3 minutes. Choose a simple topic such as your daily routine, what you learned this week, or your opinion about something. Do not prepare. Just speak naturally. Do not stop if you make mistakes. Do not restart the recording. Just keep talking. Next week, record another 3-minute message and compare it with the previous. You may notice something interesting. Maybe you paused less. Maybe your sentences were slightly longer. Maybe you sounded a little more confident. These small improvements are powerful because they prove something important. You are progressing. When your brain sees proof of improvement, motivation increases automatically. While listening to your recording, you can also notice areas where you struggled. Maybe you repeated certain words too often. Maybe you had difficulty expressing a particular idea. Instead of feeling discouraged, treat these observations as training signals. They tell you where to focus your practice next week. Tracking helps you stop comparing yourself to other people. Instead of thinking, their English is better than mine, you start thinking, my English is better than it was last month. That shift in mindset builds long-term consistency. The third step is building a daily speaking system. Many learners listen to English for years. They watch videos, read books, and understand a lot. But when it is time to speak, they become silent. This happens because understanding English and speaking English are two completely different skills. Listening and reading create passive knowledge. Speaking requires active production. Your brain must organize ideas quickly. Your mouth must produce sounds confidently. Your tongue must move comfortably. These physical and mental skills only improve through regular speaking practice. Even if you are alone at home, you can still train them. One powerful exercise is daily life commentary. For 5 or 10 minutes, simply describe what you are doing. For example, I am making tea. The water is boiling. I need to add sugar. Today I feel a little tired. These sentences may sound simple, but they train your brain to connect English with real life instead of translation. Another helpful method is retelling. After watching a short video or reading a small article, close it and explain what you learned using your own words. This exercise trains memory, sentence connection, and idea organization. You can also practice question and answer simulations. Ask yourself questions and answer them immediately. Questions like, what are my goals? Or what is something I want to improve in my life? Speaking your answers helps your brain think faster in English. Finally, practice a mirror drill. Stand in front of a mirror and speak clearly while looking at yourself. This helps develop confidence, body language, and vocal control. At first it may feel strange, but after a few weeks you will notice that speaking feels more natural. The fourth powerful tool is using technology as a practice partner. One of the biggest challenges when learning English at home is the lack of conversation partners. Many learners simply do not have someone to practice with. Fortunately, technology has created new possibilities. You can use AI tools like ChatGPT as a conversation partner. Instead of just reading answers, treat it like a dialogue. Ask it to ask you questions